Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. In boxing, find a way to win, or you find a way to lose. Hey, how far can Richardson Hitchins go? That's the question. I don't think enough people are talking about this guy. There's something there. I'm telling y'all right now. If you don't know who Richardson Hitchins is, you need to pay attention to him. He is on his way. This guy's a product of Brooklyn, New York. Parents are Haitian. He fought for Haiti after failing to make the U.S. Olympic team. But nonetheless, he ended up signing with Mayweather Promotions in 2017. Hung around there for 5 years. Just felt like a change was needed. Ended up going on and signing with Matchroom. He was fortunate enough to sign a multi-fight deal. But what I'm telling you, when it comes to these fighters and trying to make business decisions and going from one promoter to another promoter, it's not always a sweet deal for him. But for him, it seems to have been, things seem to be working out for him. Because right after he signed with Matchroom, he was in the ring a couple months later. Now, I'm going to tell you this. There wasn't a time they were trying to build up Richardson Hitchins with Montana Love. Now, I'm sure you guys, if you follow boxing, you remember Montana Love ended up getting into a fight with a guy named Steve Spark. And Steve Spark was sparking Montana Love, and Montana Love ended up getting disqualified because he was getting his butt whipped. So nonetheless, you fast forward to where we are now when it comes time to discuss Richardson Hitchins. Let me tell you, he is trying to stay active. His ultimate goal was to continue going from prospect to contender and moving up the charts. And he has done that. Now, I'm going to tell you this. It is not easy to work your way into title contention. But, it's like Jay Leon said, once you start moving up that ranking, those fights get hard, man. You fight guys who can hit hard, have fast hands, have good chins, have good footwork, have outstanding stamina, and it becomes more than just being athletic. This is where skills and IQ really start to pay the bills. And right now, although the opposition that Hitchins faced last night was no joke, Hitchins is proven to be no joke as well. Now, he's fighting in the 140-pound division. There's a lot going on in the 140-pound division. And I'm telling you right now, it's just a matter of time before Richardson Hitchins gets himself an opportunity to really put on a show in front of his people. Now, the thing is this. Let me show y'all something, because I want y'all to understand something when it comes to this guy. To me, he kind of reminds me of Terrence Crawford. So when you look here at Hitchins, right? 17 wins, 7 KOs. Of course, Crawford, KO ratio is a lot better. But at the end of the day, 17 wins, 7 KOs, totally dominating his opponents. He stands about 5'10", 74-inch reach. I mean, that's damn near identical to Terrence Crawford. His KO ratio is the only thing that's, I'd say he'd have to work on, but he's not a guy who's in there looking to necessarily take you out. He's looking to make sure that he hits you, but you don't hit him. So he's more of a float like a butterfly, a sting like a bee when necessary or when the opportunity presents itself type of fighter. But the reason I decided to do this video is because I watched that fight last night, and I ain't gonna lie. I was impressed with his boxing, but I was at the same time kind of getting bored. You know what I'm saying? Because he wasn't necessarily going for the kill. So you say, well, what impressed you? What impressed me is who he fought. Jose Zepeda. Now, Jose Zepeda is no joke. Now, when you go down and you start looking at the list of these guys that he fought, you're not going to recognize these names. Remember, he has 17 fights, and he's kind of working his way up to being a contender and a top contender. He's almost right there. But one thing that I left off is he lost to Gary Antoine Russell, and that's why he didn't get to make the U.S. Olympic team. But nonetheless, that name Jose Zepeda, that's who he beat last night, okay? So he beat him by unanimous decision over 12 rounds. But it's something that y'all need to understand when it comes to Jose Zepeda. I want to show y'all something. Okay, Jose Zepeda is no joke, man. Okay, this is him right here. Now, look at his record. 37 wins, 28 KOs. That tells you he's got power. 4 losses. 2 of those are by KO. He's 5'8", 70-inch reach, and the reach definitely, the reach advantage Hitchins had definitely gave Zepeda some problems. But it's his IQ, man. It is his IQ. He's fast. He's got some pop, and he's slick. He fights with his eyes. He uses his legs. He's an all-around complete fighter, Richardson Hitchins. But check this out about Zepeda. The fact that he made him look like a novice, that is what impressed me. And I'm telling you, people need to see, people are all behind Boots Ennis. And I get it. But Boots Ennis is 147. We're talking about 140-pound division. But this is the thing. Hitchins has more upside to him than any other fighter out there right now. It's just no one knows about him yet because he's over there on Matchroom. He's not really doing anything. Like he's not giving you the shock and awe when he gets in there and knocking people out cold, you know, like Edgar Berlanga. There was a huge buzz about him because his first 15, 16 fights, he knocked everybody out. That was kind of fizzled out, you know what I'm saying? But this guy Hitchins start off quiet, kind of like Terrence Crawford. And then I just think it's a matter of time before he really starts to get the attention that he deserves. But check this out about Jose Zepeda. When you come down and you start looking, let me slide this over. And you start looking at the name of fighters, okay, that he fought and he beat. Okay, let's just stop right here. Okay? Let's go down a little bit because there's another name here y'all should know. Pedro Navarrete. All right? Then let's go up to the next one. Jesus Carrillo, Miguel Zamudio, Abner Lopez, Carlos Diaz, Domenico Rondon. He lost to Jose Ramirez, and Jose Ramirez can scrap. Valenzuela, Jose Pedraza, y'all should know that name. Ivan Barancek. That's the fight I saw Zepeda fight where I knew there was something special about him. Barancek was a monster at that time. I think Barancek was undefeated. Barancek and Zepeda. If you guys want to see a good fight, go watch Jose Zepeda versus Ivan Barancek. They were trying to kill each other. And Barancek had some great moments, but Zepeda just hit too hard. He was catching Barancek with some stuff. Knocked Barancek down. Barancek knocked him down. Then the next thing was Zepeda gets knocked down again. Barancek gets knocked down. It was like Rock'em Sock'em Robots. But eventually, Zepeda was able to land a devastating blow to put Barancek out of his misery. The names like, you know, Henry Lundy, and you got Vargas, you got Javier Perez, then he fought Regis Prograis. And that was a fight. Regis Prograis ended up knocking him out. But that was a fight that was really seen as a 50-50 fight because of the power that he had and his boxing IQ. But Regis Prograis just showed that he just had a different level to him. Then you have Niraj Goyat, and then he just fought Hitchins where he lost. But that being said, this guy Richardson Hitchins, he's with the right promoter in my opinion. But as far as getting the exposure stateside he needs, I don't know. But I definitely think he can go very, very far. Now, something else we need to look at when it comes to old Richardson Hitchins, right? Let me pull something up here. It's very, very interesting. I think we need to talk about it. So when we look at him here in BoxRec, let me go back. Let's take a look at where he's actually positioned. Because that matters. Take a look at where he falls in the rack and stack. Let me click on this. I didn't click on it the first time. We're going to see where he falls in the rack and stack. I'm going to go ahead and let me just fix this real quick for you. Okay. So you can see we're here in the 140-pound division, right? Let me make this a little bit smaller. That's 5. All right, that's good enough. So, Teofimo Lopez, as of when this was updated, on 20 September, he's the man, according to the ring rack and stack. I still think some of this needs to be updated, but nonetheless, you see some of the names of the fighters here. Now remember, Regis Prograis is ranked number 2. He's a WBC champion. Regis Prograis got in there and fought Zepeda, knocked him out, I think, the 10th round. Hitchison fought the same guy, Zepeda, and made him look like a novice. I definitely feel Hitchins will beat Regis Prograis. I feel Hitchins will beat Devin Haney. I feel Hitchins will beat almost all these guys. I'm just telling you, he needs an opportunity. And no one's going to be chomping at the bit to fight him because of how skilled he is. He has those long arms, those cat-like reflexes, and he's going to slow the fight down to the pace he's comfortable with. He's just going to pick you apart and just totally dismantle you. So that's one of the issues he's going to face. But I'm telling you, I think he beats everybody at 140. I'm just being honest. And when you take a look at this right here, when you start taking a look at the rack and stack, right? For the WBO, I believe he's ranked number 4. Okay, so let's make this a little bit bigger for you. Under the WBO, he's ranked number 4. So after that fight last night, beating Zepeda, Zepeda is a big name. Zepeda is a big name, man. Can't do anything but continue moving up the ladder. Sandor Martin. You got Carlos Ramirez. You got Barbosa. So those are some names that, Hitchison should be looking at. You come over to the IBF, he's ranked number 7. Look, you look at when you go up there, Ramirez's name pops up again. You got Ergashev, you got a Japanese fighter, Hiraoka, and then you got Carrillo. Josh Taylor right below Hitchins. So Hitchins has some great fighters that he can fight that's going to continue to push him up the ladder and get his name, get help to get his name known across outside of diehard boxing fans, because I just don't think a lot of people know who he is. Now, when you come over to the WBC, you can see that Hitchins is not rack and stacked anywhere when it comes to the WBC. He's just not on the list. And then you come over to the WBA and you run into the same thing. There's no Richardson Hitchins over there. So the bottom line is, for the WBO and IBF, really this is what we need to be focusing on as far as trying to predict the next move for Hitchins. But Sandor Martin could be a good fight for him. I think Eddie Hearn has the pull, has the power, has the money to make that fight happen. Now, if we're looking at the IBF, this is what's interesting. The number 1 and 2 positions are vacant. So if they decide to just bump everybody up, well, now you got Ergashev number 1, Ramirez number 2, Hiraoka number 3, Carrillo 4, and Hitchins 5. He's in that top 5 now. Hey, he could end up getting an opportunity at something big. So what I'm getting at is, let me go ahead and, because there's only 2 columns that matter, the IBF and WBO right now. What we're looking at with this guy Hitchins is somebody who's, I'm telling you, is on the cusp of being a breakout star. He just needs that signature win. But the problem is, nobody going to get that man an opportunity. And if so, they know Eddie Hearns, Eddie Hearns got the money. They're going to want ridiculous amounts of money. And he may just have to, pay these guys more than what they're worth so he can get his guy an opportunity, especially at a title shot. It's the same thing he did with AJ and Charles Martin. Charles Martin got in with AJ, he basically sold his belt. I wouldn't be surprised if that was all, hey, we'll give you $8 million, which is what Charles Martin made, about $8 million, and you just throw the fight. Now, I'm just sitting here having a conversation. I don't know that to be true, but not the way Charles Martin went out, man. Don't get me wrong, we know AJ has power and he can fight, but the way Charles Martin went out, come on now. That just doesn't even make sense to see someone just go out like that. I know he had on them tight, funny shorts and all that, but to just go out like that doesn't make sense. But when you find out how much money they paid him, $8 million US. I'll tell you what, they could have paid that man $3 million. He would have taken the AJ fight. That extra $5 million and probably made him throw that fight. But nonetheless, Eddie Hearn, when he's ready, he'll spend money. He has an agenda. He has an end goal. And I think with Hitchins, he's gonna have to put some big money up to get him an opportunity. Because I'm telling y'all, you guys, a lot of y'all don't know who he is right now. But I'm telling you, y'all better pay attention to him. It's just like they used to talk about Bud Crawford back in the day. This guy who keeps winning, but Bud was knocking people out. But he's just getting in there, and you can just see the world-class level and world-class skill that Terrence Crawford had. And when I'm watching Hitchins, he doesn't quite have the power of Crawford, but he has that world-class skill. He's at a world-class level already, and I think he'll beat any of these world-class fighters at 140. I'm just being honest with you. I don't know how well he'll handle getting hit clean by a heavy puncher, but the thing is, his whole thing is not getting hit. So that's what makes what I think the fight sometimes, unless you really appreciate the sweet science, could make it a little bit boring. But he's going to slow it down. He's going to keep it at a pace where he's comfortable, and he's going to keep getting wins. And as long as he keeps doing that, he's going to keep moving up the ladder. He's going to continue to get fans. And I truly believe it's a matter of time before he gets an opportunity at a title. And with Eddie Hearns behind him, Matchroom behind him, DAZN behind him, I truly believe he's the next big thing at 140 and the next big thing at 147 if he chooses to. He's 5'10", he's 74-inch reach, so he has the frame to get up there and compete as far as not being at a disadvantage when it comes to height, when it comes to the guys with longer legs and their footwork and stance. But also when it comes to just him, his IQ is what's gonna pay the bills for him. But that being said, do not sleep on him. My only concern is we don't know how good his chin is. But everything else, he passed the test. And I'm gonna just leave it as that. That being said, do your research on him. Parents are both from Haiti. Came up here to New York. Saw Floyd Mayweather out there on WWE. Who's this cocky guy? He was 8 years old when he saw that. That fascinated him, fell in love with boxing, started boxing, never turned back. He sparred all kind of fighters. People know who he is and what he's about. And that's why when after the Olympics, Leonard Ellaby, Watson, and Mayweather, they converged on him and they signed him. The problem is he just wasn't active enough over there under Mayweather Promotions, which seemed to be a common problem with fighters who signed to Mayweather Promotions. He just can't keep them active enough. Hooks up with Eddie Hearns, Matchroom. He's fighting in a couple months. So, long story short, there's a reason why Mayweather and that whole outfit over there wanted him, because there's something special about him. And there was one point after watching him spar in the gym when Mayweather told him that he's the best fighter in the gym. And there were some top guys in there at the time. So that means that there's something about him. And we know Mayweather appreciates the sweet science. Some people say, the fighter who runs, but this guy ain't running. He's boxing, he's hitting and not getting hit. And we all know Mayweather was a specialist about that. That being said, let's see how far he can go. But I definitely got my eye on him. And I got my eye on it's Richard Torres at heavyweight. I've been talking about him for a while. I'm talking about Zhilei Zhang for a while. But I'm telling you, this is another one. Got to pay attention. I think he's going to do something big in boxing. That being said, y'all keep cool. Shout out to the veterans, all 7 continents. Y'all, I'm in the breeze.